Salmon of Knowledge. The legend of the Salmon of Knowledge, or Salmon of Wisdom, is the ancient tales Fionn Mac Cumhaill, who was the leader of a heroic band of warriors and hunters called the Fianna. Fionn is one of the greatest heroes of Celtic mythology, and it all comes about because of a remarkable salmon, poet, and warrior. Fionn's father was a warrior, and young Fionn was also training to become one. To increase his learning, he went to live with a poet named Fionngast. This was the custom in those days. Poets who considered to be wise men who could teach the young men the ways of the warriors. Fionngast was known to be one of the wisest men in Ireland. He had read books as well as written poetry. Fionngast lived close to the river boy and had heard stories that the ancient druid had claimed that there was a remarkable salmon living in a still pool shaded by a magical hazelnut tree. The salmon had eaten the hazelnuts, and they had passed on to him all the knowledge of the world. The druids prophesied that anyone catching and eating the salmon would acquire all that knowledge for themselves. Many had tried and failed to catch this golden-skinned magical fish, but Fionngast was fascinated by the legend and spent many years attempting to catch this wily old fish, known as the Salmon of Knowledge, and so becomes the wise man in this world, catching the Salmon of Knowledge. Fionngast saw the biggest salmon he had ever seen swimming in the river boy. Realizing this was the famous fish, he immediately tried to catch it in his net, but he tried to avoid looking into its eyes, as the story told that anyone doing so would fall deeply asleep. Suddenly the salmon leaped into the air, and Fionngast could not avoid its gaze and immediately fell asleep. By the time Fionn had seen what was happening and quickly woke Fionngast before the salmon escaped, this time he was prepared and asked Fionn to fetch him a cloth to cover his eyes. For hours he tried to catch the Salmon of Knowledge, and finally, after a long and frantic struggle, just as night fell, he succeeded. Too exhausted to cook the salmon, he asked Fionn to do it, but warned him not to eat any of it, not even the smallest taste. Fionn agreed and cooked the fish over a fire. When he was about to serve it to Fionngast, he noticed a bubble in the skin, and without thinking, broke it with his thumb. It was so hot he was burned. He quickly put his thumb in his mouth to ease the pain. When he took the fish to Fionngast, the old poet noticed something different about his young pupil, a wisdom which has not previously been there. Blister of knowledge. He asked Fionn if he had eaten any of the salmon, and he truthfully denied it, but explained how he had burned his thumb on the fish and had sucked it to help the pain. Fionngast realized that it was in the blister of the skin of the fish that all the knowledge has been, and that Fionn has acquired it. He was disappointed, but accepted that this was Fionn's destiny. That when Fionn grew up, he became a great warrior, a wise poet, and the leader of the Fionn, the most heroic and memorable warriors in the history of Iceland. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.